Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review PC Building Simulator. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 20 bucks or so. So before we begin, it's worth noting that I have very little to no PC building knowledge. In this game, you're going to be managing your very own computer repair shop. And as I just said, my knowledge is very substandard. The most complex thing I ever did to my computer, I had an HP mini tower back in college, and I had to change from an onboard video card to a physical card, and I had to put this little, I had to pull out this little, I don't know, cover thing from two prongs and move it over to two other prongs. So basically I had to disable the onboard video card so that my new NVIDIA video card would work. So that's the most complex thing I ever did. I've never upgraded my computer, like physically. I've never like put more RAM in it or disk space or whatever. I've never done that. So this review is going to be from someone that is quite stupid when it comes to stuff like this. So just keep that in mind. So as I mentioned, in this game, you're going to be managing your very own computer repair shop. You're going to be receiving emails, and these emails will contain jobs. You can approve or reject them as you see fit, but you kind of have to take jobs because you have to pay rent and utilities every so often, and you're going to be using your money to buy these upgrades for your shop. So you can't be passing on too much. But these emails will grow in complexity over time, and they will typically be things like, I think I have a virus. Can you look at it? Or my computer is slow. I think I need to upgrade my RAM, my memory RAM. Can you upgrade that, please? Or I want to upgrade my video card from 8 megabytes to 16 megabytes. Oh, and by the way, I think my case would look a lot better if I had black cables in them. So you're going to be, again, choosing what jobs you want to take. And the next day, these PCs will be delivered to your office. Now, the day prior, like I said, you're going to be managing your shop in the sense that you're going to be looking at these orders and going, okay, in order for me to complete this job, I am going to need these parts. The nice thing about this game is that it'll give you the PC specs in the email as well. So you're going to be looking at it going, okay, this customer wants an upgrade in a processor. It wants a better processor. All right, so what does he have now? Okay, he has this now. So I'm going to go to the shop and go, okay, I need to find it in the shop, and then I need to buy one above it. These customers will have a budget, and you also get paid for labor as well. So you want to stay within the realm of the budget, but also buy something that is better than what they have now in those upgrade cases. Other cases, you'll be spraying down the computer with an air can because it's dusty, or you're going to be putting a USB stick in the back of the tower so that you can install your virus program on it so that you can, or antivirus software on it so that you can run it and clean out the viruses and stuff. So you're going to be doing a number of different things in this game to fix these computers. And the day before, like I said, you kind of have to look at the orders, see what you may need, order it so that it comes the next day. You can choose the shipping speed, and that will change the price. Like you can do it same day, next day, 3 to 5 days, something like that. And you'll just have to manage, your money that way. Some orders will ask you to do it within a 2 to 3 day window or 7 to 8 day window, or just there is no time limit. I try and get them done as quickly as possible because I don't like a queue. But anyway, so yeah, you're going to be taking on these orders, and the parts and the computers come the next day, and then you start taking them apart. Now, when you take them apart, it's very similar to that of, say, Car Mechanic Simulator, I think it's the name of it, where there's an install button, a remove button, and a cable button. Whenever you click on the remove button, you'll click on a part on the computer, and if it's the most topmost thing that you can interact with, you can then remove it. But if what you're trying to remove is under something else, you have to remove that top part first before you can access it. So for example, if you want to change the processor, in most cases, you have to first remove the cooling fan, which I learned, and then you can access the chip in order to change the processor. So yeah, you're going to be doing little things like that. And again, it's very similar to that of Car Mechanic Simulator. Like for example, opening up the case. When you click on the case to remove it, you hold in the button for 1 or 2 seconds. That confirms that you want to remove it. Then you have to unscrew the screws, and the game will highlight where you have to do that. If you have to connect cables, you click on the cable button, and different yellow sections will highlight on the computer telling you which cables are disconnected. So when you click on one, the other part will highlight so you know where to connect it to. That part I really like. Had there been nothing like that, I would have been lost. Like I wouldn't know what cables connect to what other parts of the PC. I'm not very savvy when that comes, when it comes to that kind of thing. But I was able to actually get through the first couple of orders without too much of a problem, despite me not knowing anything. Now, I have to admit, there were a couple of times in this game where I wanted to rage quit, and I did. And then I came back to it the next day because I was, cooled off. It's just, I rage quit because I became frustrated not knowing what I was supposed to do or how to do it. Sometimes I would order a part, and I'm like, well, why isn't this part compatible then? It says I ordered this upgrade, and it's not going in. So why is that? Oh, I have to first remove this other part. So who knew that you couldn't mix this 8 megabyte RAM memory thing, stick, whatever, this particular brand with this other brand? The game won't let you do it. Like, it needs to be the same brand. I don't know why. But I'm just saying, like, these are things that, I had to learn through trial and error as I played the game. So there were a number of times where I just became frustrated, rage quit, then came back to it later. I want to say level 4. You level up your profile level as you play. And when you do that, you'll be able to unlock new things to buy from the shop, as well as you can take upgrades that directly help you do your job. In the shop, there's this tools and software section where you can buy a Will It Run app that is added to your USB stick. So a customer might say, I want to get this game to run, and it's not working. How do I get it to run? I need to upgrade my computer so it can run. So you get this app, you run it, and then it'll tell you what part of the computer needs to be upgraded to meet the minimum specs or the recommended specs. There's other apps like an auto connect tool. You have to constantly connect your keyboard, your mouse, and every other thing to the computer that you're diagnosing and fixing in order for it to work on your monitor. Well, there's an auto connect tool for $1,000 that you can buy that does all of that for you. There's a review site, Bongle, that you can buy, an app that you can buy to see what customers are complaining about in terms of your service. And while the jobs will tell you what needs to be done, the customers will also write in their email, and sometimes there will be hidden objectives, and you really have to read the email and see what they are. Like, for example, they might say, I'm looking to get my video card updated. Oh, and by the way, my kid clicked on something, and now things are slow. Something like that. But the objectives will say upgrade video card or whatever, but it won't tell you to also run a virus check based on the wording of the email. So there are hidden objectives that you have to kind of pay attention to, and that will affect your star rating. You have 1 through 5 stars. And you want as high a star as possible to keep your company rating up there. But again, as you level up, you'll unlock new tools, quick cable tools, more USB drives. You can buy a second workbench so that you can work on multiple computers at the same time. There's a GPU tuner. You'll eventually get these benchmark tools and other things that you'll need to check frames per second to make sure that the video card is up to snuff and other things. So, like, there are reasons to keep upgrading and playing in this game because you'll unlock more content and so on. But again, the jobs do get harder. So, what did I think of this game? Well, again, this is coming from someone that isn't really into this kind of thing. I do recommend it. For $20, I'm at level 4, and I think the max level is like 16. I'm like 1/4 of the way through the game, if you can call it that. I'm sure there's more content that I have not seen yet. But that was 5 to 6 hours of playtime. So when you think about it, it's going to take me roughly 24, 25 hours to get up to level 16, assuming it takes 4 to 5 hours every 4 levels. You know what I mean? So yes, I do recommend it. Based on the money that you're spending on the game and the amount of playtime you can get out of it, you're getting a good value for your buck. Um, from a experienced techie standpoint, someone that's an engineer or a PC specialist and knows all that innards stuff, you may find this boring or very easy just because the game is like, for example, when I'm what I this is something I do know. When you install a new video card, typically you have to install drivers. You have to install the software so that the hardware can talk to the software. But in this case, I plop in the video card and that's it. I just make sure the computer can boot up to the operating system and I'm done. I don't have to install drivers or anything like that. So I think this is more of like a dumbed down version of what it's like in the real world. And that may bother the person that is very tech savvy. However, to someone like me, it's more accessible, which is something I appreciate. Now, again, I've not gotten past level 4 to know if the game gets any harder than what it is. Again, there's going to be some benchmarking things I have to do. Like, the customer wants this benchmark ratings, and I got to figure out how to update the computer to meet this benchmark level. I have no idea what that means, okay. There was another one where I had to diagnose and fix a problem. Like, it didn't even tell me what the problem was. So, the computer booted up and the BIOS told me it was, the CPU was missing. So then I'm like, okay, so maybe it's a faulty processor. So I swapped them out and I had a spare used one laying around. And the computer booted. So I'm like, okay, so I bought a new one, exactly the same one that was there before, and replaced it, and that seemed to work fine. So later on, I think, you're going to have a little bit more freedom to poke around and try and figure out what the problem is. Whereas the first couple of jobs that you get, again, these jobs are ranked like between 1 and 5 stars. The easier jobs are just, they tell you what the problem is with maybe a hidden objective here and there. And it seems like the later problems are more, figure it out. And part of me is concerned about that because I'm afraid I'm going to be out of my element to fully enjoy what the game has to offer. That being said, I am curious enough to actually try it, but I may need a techie to, maybe like when I'm streaming, maybe someone that's knowledgeable to come and help me, explain what the difference is between this part and this part, or why it's not working, or why I can't mix and match these two things, or so on. So, or just what the BIOS is saying and what it actually means. So, different things like that. I mean, the game is accessible enough for someone like me to play it, but I am concerned about the later jobs. I haven't gotten to them yet, but I am concerned about them. So, do I recommend it overall? Yes. But this is a game, as a newbie, as someone that isn't really doing these things in real life, this is a game I have to be in the mood for. As a low-tech kind of person, this is a game that I have to be in the mood for. There's a lot of tedium, a lot of diagnosing, a lot of repetitive jobs and tasks. That being said, I enjoy the leveling and the money making and the business aspect. And I like the fact that you can unlock more workbenches. And if you really want to try and get away with it, use used parts and see if, you'll assuming the customer is paying attention, you'll take a hit on your rating. But you can use used parts to save money, assuming you have any on hand. So it's like, I like all of that. That's really cool. Again, this game does make me feel out of my element sometimes and uncomfortable at times. But that being said, I do recommend it. But I have to be in the mood to play it. I have to, this is a game that puts me outside of my comfort zone. You know what I mean? So, yeah, take that for what you will. And as far as, like I said, the experienced people out there, you may find this too easy. That being said, maybe the later missions or the later tasks that you have to do might be of interest to you. There's a lot of named things in here, like NVIDIA, AMD. It seems like the company behind this managed to get the rights for a lot of the naming stuff. A lot of the named content. And you can build your own computer in this, which is kind of cool. I have not tried it because I'm afraid to. But yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of cool tools here if I knew how to use them. So, do I recommend it? Yes. I do believe it is free on Humble Bundle. I think it's either this month or was the month previous. So, at the very least, go check it out. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.